The 2021 season for the Minnesota Wild is just around the corner. We finally put 2020 in the rearview mirror and start to focus on hockey. And it'll be a different season. 56 games, all within one division. The Wild in a different division. We'll have plenty to talk about to get you ready for the upcoming season. But first, we welcome a new member to our broadcast team here on Fox Sports North. A Minnesota guy with a name you probably recognize, a two-time state champion at Bloomington Jefferson High School, then went on to play a couple of years at St. Cloud State. Into the NHL, an 11-year career with 7 different organizations, including an all-star with the New York Islanders and a couple of years with the Minnesota Wild. Mark Parrish. He's got some experience on the TV side, having done some work with the NHL Network and covering the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament. But now, Mark, an opportunity to cover the NHL in your hometown. Welcome to the team. What does that opportunity mean to you?
Oh, thank you very much, Anthony. I'm very excited for this opportunity. Getting a chance to play for the Wild obviously was one thing, and now getting a chance to cover it and join this elite squad that we have here, I'm very excited.
Well, let's look ahead at this season. The divisions realigned just for this 1 year, and Minnesota moves into a new-look Western Division. A couple of their old-time division rivals in St. Louis and Colorado, but now they're in with the California teams, Arizona and Vegas. How do you think the Wild match up with their new division foes?
I like the outlook for the Wild this year. They've got a great opportunity. Obviously, you look at Colorado, you look at Vegas, you look at St. Louis, and those teams are kind of staples to get into the playoffs. But then you look at the rest, and they're right back into that bunch, and that 4th seed is really open and up for grabs. And the Minnesota Wild can easily jump up and grab it.
Ryan Carter back with us again this season. He'll be in the booth with us for a big chunk of our Minnesota Wild games. And Ryan, when you look at this season, not only is the division realigned, but the schedule is different in that every time you face an opponent, you'll face them back-to-back. Couple of games. What will that do for the intensity between players when they get on the ice against the same foe on consecutive games?
Well, it won't match my intensity finally getting a chance to stand next to you, Anthony. But no, certainly, for me, it's going to be these guys are going to have to go back to their roots, and whether it be college or junior, even the minors, you end up playing the same teams a lot, and it's hard to sweep these guys, and there's a carryover effect. So whether one team wins game 1, these guys are competitors. They don't want to lose. So there's going to be the elevation in their game, I think, on these back-to-back nights, and I think you're going to see a lot of animosity.
The old veteran on our broadcast crew is Wes Walz. Wes, from a coaching perspective, during a regular season, you're preparing for a new opponent every other night. This time, not only do you get the back-to-backs, but you're only going to play games within your division. That means only 7 opponents all regular season long. How will that change for a coaching staff when it comes to game planning and preparing for each night?
I do suspect at some point when you've played the same team 3 or 4 times in a row, I think the other team's coaches are going to start throwing some wrinkles in. All of a sudden they come out for a power play in the first period, and they're going to have a different look that you haven't seen on tape. So I think making in-game adjustments on the bench when you see something new after you've played a team 3 or 4 times is going to be really important.
A lot of change on the Minnesota roster as well. Veteran leaders are gone. Mikko Koivu, Eric Stahl, Devin Dubnyk among them. Mark, what will it be like for some of these veteran guys to now enter a new organization?
It's an enthusiasm. They're going to be excited about this opportunity to come in and play for the Wild right now. They know that they're going to be put a little bit more of a microscope, be watched a little bit closer, but you watch Nick Bonino, a guy that's won a Stanley Cup, who's hovered around that 20-goal scorer, as Marcus Johansson entering his 11th year, Nick Bukestad entering his 9th year. I know Nick's going to be excited coming back playing for his hometown Wild.
A change in goal. Cam Talbot in as Minnesota's #1 guy, replacing Devin Dubnyk. And Talbot's an interesting guy, Wes. He's only 4 years removed from being 4th in the Vezina voting.
In a 6-year span in the National Hockey League, even with 1 down season, his career save percentage is .915. We had a save percentage as a team last year under 90. Give us .915 is all we ask, and I'm telling you, the Minnesota Wild have the potential to not only get into the playoffs, but make a little bit of noise in the playoffs if they get that kind of goaltending.
Those are some of the veteran guys that are the new faces for Minnesota, but a lot of Wild fans have been waiting for a long time to see some of the young stars coming up through the organization. One of those, Kirill Kaprizov. And Ryan, back-to-back years, he led the KHL in goal scoring with more than 30 goals. He'll be one of the players to watch.
Well, first off, the number one thing is he's got something to play for and something to prove. Now, he's obviously been touted as an offensive player and highly skilled, and I'm excited to see if he can bring that to the NHL sheet. It's going to be a little bit different, but if he can put up the numbers that he put up on the KHL and on the international stage, he's going to be one of those talents that maybe Minnesota Wild hasn't had since Marian Gaborik.
Excited to get going with this season. For Mark Parrish, Wes Walz, Ryan Carter, I'm Anthony LaPanta. Opening night, January 14th.